So V0, the app and landing page builder from Vercel, just launched its own fine-tuned model. So this is interesting because it's dedicated to Next.js and React building, and that's what I do 95% of the time, and it's what a lot of AI builders do as well. Is this going to be a better model in certain use cases than Claude 4 or Gemini 2.5? We're going to find out. Also, we're going to show you how to hook up a database to a landing page so you can start to collect waitlist emails, as well as even set up a blog or some basic functionality. All of this is going to be within V0, so super simple. And we're going to deploy this all to Vercel, and we're going to do this all very quickly, way faster than it was previously possible. We're talking about generating a product requirements document that feeds into quickly generating a landing page with the benefits, features, styling, etc., and then actually putting it onto a deployed website and hooking up a domain. All this in a super quick amount of time. And while we're at it, we're going to do a comparison of Vercel's V0 model against Claude 4 in terms of design. And we're going to hook up V0's API directly into Cursor so that when we've deployed our app to Vercel, we can actually pull it down via GitHub and do edits on it in our favorite tools like Windsurf or Cursor. That's a ton for a very short period of time. Strap in. If you're finding my videos helpful, I highly recommend checking out the Build with AI course. There are about 300 plus people in there at the moment. We meet up every week to talk about our projects and get help on what we're building. There is a huge course in there on building a web app from scratch, even if you haven't done anything like that before, taking you through all the way through to taking payments, setting up databases, and everything else. We have people from Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, and a host of other companies learning how to build with AI. So this is V0 from Vercel. It builds out Next.js applications, and Next.js applications are really fantastic frameworks to get started building out any kind of web app. And it's what I highly recommend if you want to get started building anything with AI. There's a ton of different community forks that you can start with, and you just basically type in your prompt here and get going. So what they've done is they've switched up from a usual model that was a frontier model, I think one of the Claude series. Now you can select a V0 1.5 medium or 1.5 large. You can get started on this for free. You'll get $5 of monthly credits, and you can use the 1.5 medium model. If you upgrade to the $20 model, you get to use the larger model, and you also get access to the V0 API. So if you want to plug this into Cursor or Windsurf, you're going to pay the $20 premium. This is the result I got from a one-shot on the 1.5 medium model. I used this prompt up the top here, which was basically create a landing page for this app, use dark mode, have a strong text-based hero, call to action, and a form. And I added in a PRD document, which I generated by having a conversation with a product manager persona. I've covered that in previous videos. I'm going to link to a video on that in the description. Essentially, it's a really quick conversation you can have with a product management expert that gives you a pitch for your product, the user stories, and other relevant information that is perfect to feed into a prompt for a landing page. It basically gives you everything you need to pitch your project concisely. Here's what I got from the large model, which I think is just that little bit better, a little bit cleaner, more professional. It's got some nice icons, some nice placement, some good spacing. Now, I did click the generate images button, which I don't recommend. It tried to generate some kind of image for me here, which is completely out of place. So I'll just be deleting that one out, I think, but a nice little sign up form here as well. If you want to do custom edits, you can just use this button over here, select this, and then I can basically say remove this image. Click this button up here and you can see the code that's been generated, and you can make any edits you want there. Or if you want, you can hit this download button here. You can run this command directly in your terminal in Cursor or Windsurf, and it will install these components for you, which is really useful. You can also fork other people's designs. So if you find a design that you like, you can fork it, and you can also integrate things like a database. So let's say I want to connect a database for my email form. I can just go up here to settings and then integrations. So already what I've done is I've managed and set up a Neon serverless Postgres database. So you just can quickly run through the connection settings there or sign up for an account. And it steps through and actually set up environment variables for you and everything. I didn't have to touch anything. And essentially now there is a connection to a database, but that doesn't really do anything yet. So my prompt here is, can we save the emails to the Neon database? Very short, very simple. And it went ahead and did that, created some SQL to create the tables in the database, and actually wrote some code here. The actions file here basically allows me to capture the emails and sends it to the database. Now, if I check out NeonDB, a table has been created called waitlist and all my emails are being saved. The next cool thing I can do is actually go and connect my GitHub. It's a really simple setup to save all your content and your code base straight up to GitHub, so you can pull it down with Cursor or Windsurf or some other tool like that. And then I can deploy it straight up to Vercel with this little button here. And it's just so easy. Now this isn't a sponsored video, guys. I just think this is a smooth process. And if I was just going to be creating a very simple landing page, I'd probably just keep it in Vercel. It's just a simple experience. So deploying is super simple. You just hit the deploy button. I've already just done this, so it's going to redeploy again. Sorry if I'm not showing you these steps for the first time. I went through this whole process. The recording messed up, so I'm just kind of showing you the highlights again, if that's okay. So you can see that it's actually going about and building there, and it's giving you all the build steps. If I pop over to Vercel, you can see it's already been deployed, and it gives me a temporary domain where I can view my site already online. So if I just click on this one, I can send this link to anybody I want to take a look at my new website. The other thing you can do is add a domain, which I have done. So if you go over here to settings and then domains, you can basically just add a domain. So I've already added boostling.com. It'll give you a record and a C name. So you just go to your host, whether that's GoDaddy or AWS, and just copy and paste in those records to get it up and running. If you don't know how to do that, go back to my 10x web design video. I show you how to do the whole process. And pretty much in record time, we have a landing page for our new project, complete with waitlist sign up, all the features, etc. And compared to how long that used to take in terms of designing and deploying a website, this is just so fast. So previously, I might have been able to get a template or something like that, and I might start hacking it into submission so that it kind of fits the design of what I want. But that's not even taking into account copywriting. And copywriting is such a huge part of the conversion process of convincing people that it's worth their time to get involved with your project. So the great thing about a large language model paired with the actual designer is that it actually creates the copy for you that's pretty damn good. Of course, you can go and edit this and you can change it and you can upscale it, but essentially this is a really good starting point. The last thing I wanted to show you was that if you actually go and connect to GitHub, you can now go to Cursor and you can start working on that repository. So if you just go to File, New Window, and then click Clone Repo, you can go and clone from GitHub, and you can type in the name of the repository that you want to pull down, which I've done here. And now I can actually start to edit and make changes within Cursor and use this workflow that I'm familiar with. When I save and I push those commits, they're going to go back up to GitHub and then be deployed to Vercel. So in the future, I might start a project by using V0 to create a quick landing page and to get it started. And then I might deploy to Vercel, hook up a domain name, and then when I want to start editing or adding more features or functionality, I might just pull down that repository locally and start to edit in Cursor or Windsurf. So with the same prompt and the same PRD, this is the output I got from Claude 4. I also tested Claude 4 Opus and it actually performed worse than this. Now this is a perfectly fine design, but I actually think the V0, both the medium and the large models, performed really well. What I also did was I plugged in V0's model, which is number 1 medium, into Cursor, which you can do that via piggybacking on the OpenAI API spec. but it didn't perform as well as what I got in the native V0 setup. So all in all, my takeaways here are, if I was doing out some landing pages or some quick component designs, I think I'd actually do them within V0 and then export them out. I do a lot of my front end design and experimentation maybe in V0 if I wanted to get the best out of the model. I think in time, as the V0 API improves and gets better integration with Cursor, we're going to be able to get more of that power within Cursor itself. So V0 for the win on this one. Now, what I did with this last design here is, you might have seen in one of my previous videos, I like to use 21st Century Dev's MCP, which is the magic MCP, which has a load of different nice visual components that you can add into a design, and you just basically ask the AI and it will integrate those. So if you want to see that, go back to my 10x web design video. I'll link that in the comments down below. But essentially it gave us some nice gradients, a nice pop. We'd obviously add in an image here for our dashboard, and some other nice little features like framer motion here that are quite nice. Not mad about this, but I think we could just play around with the padding here and it might extend a little bit. But all in all, for just a few minutes work, I think you can walk away with a pretty compelling design as a starting point. If you want to add V0 into Cursor, you can't select it via the models section right now. That's in settings, models. You have to go down here, and where we have our OpenAI API key, you need to put in the API key for V0, and then also we need to put in this URL here in order to override the OpenAI base URL. So when I want to use this, then I'll switch this on, and bear in mind it overrides OpenAI. So you're going to pick the 4.0 model or 4.1 model from OpenAI, and that will actually come forward and give you the V0 model. You just type in which model and it'll tell you that it's using V0 1.0 MD. Get your API key at chat, settings, keys, go over to API keys. It's just in this little button up here in your profile. You'll find it, generate a new key, and then you can dump it into Cursor. So I mentioned that I really like to start any project with some documentation, and it doesn't take long to produce these docs. I just have a quick chat with a product manager, product owner, software architect, and a UX designer. They asked me about 3 or 4 questions, really quick to run through. I'll link the video in the description. But basically it produces this elevator pitch and who is this app for in terms of the user persona, and then some functional requirements and user stories. And this is exactly what you need to produce a decent landing page to get you started. And it's a real accelerator. But on from that, we can also produce task backlog to create an MVP, a UX doc that gives us an idea of how we might generate an interface, and also a software architect will create a architecture doc based on what we're comfortable working with and designing with, or what tools we like to use in terms of an entity relationship diagram for your database, your front end stack, everything. Just taking a few minutes to do these steps really saves you a ton of time later on in terms of errors and spaghetti code and all the annoying things that come from working with AI sometimes. So probably too much to cover in the scope of this video, but I used Claude 4 then to go on and take those documents and produce a prototype for the app that I was talking about. It basically allows you to dump in your ideas, and then it will create some titles for your videos, potential titles, and then also create some potential thumbnails that might fit with those titles to speed up your video creation process. So it gave me this kind of a dashboard. This wasn't one shot. This was probably maybe 5 or 6 prompts altogether, a little bit of tidy up, but essentially Claude performed really well in this case. So I just go and create a new project. I can dump in my ID here for whatever it is, go and generate some titles. Goes to the titles tab, and then I can pick whatever title I'm interested in. I can edit that title or change it if I want before I go ahead, and then I can click continue to thumbnail idea, and then it gives me multiple different thumbnail ideas. Again, I can edit those as well. Now the next step that I wanted to do, but I haven't connected these two together, is actually just to connect the OpenAI image generation API so that it would generate out a couple of different potential thumbnails for me. And I could do something like maybe connect replicate or fal or some other model to do some face swapping. So that's pretty much the process of how I create all the thumbnails for my videos. I have a model that's trained on me. I pull in various different templates and it helps me kind of get started. So I thought that might be nice to turn it into a product. They always say you should build tools that you want to use yourself. So I'm not sure if I'll go ahead with this. This is just a test to see if the whole thing would work in terms of using Claude, and Claude performed really well here. But of course, there's plenty of issues here that you can see. This isn't fully connected to a database or anything. I just used my typical approach of design mode to develop out the interface at the start before I thought about how I would connect things to the background. So I also put up a post this week on LinkedIn, which got a ridiculous amount of traffic. And I kind of claimed that I wasn't really using Figma anymore. And that's true. I rarely go into Figma when I used to use it quite a lot. It's because I can now prompt these interfaces into existence. Are they the most beautiful interfaces in the world? Maybe not. But if you compare this to the skill set of a layman or a generalist, these are really quite good in terms of just getting your ideas out there to see if they work. This interface isn't going to win any awards. It probably has some usability issues, but for just putting it in front of somebody to try it out and to test it, the fact that this only took a couple of minutes to produce is pretty big. If I was to try and do this in Figma or some other tool, I'd be messing around with the tool for ages. I'd have to figure out how to work the prototyping, sharing, and then it wouldn't have given me this level of interactivity that you get here. So it's really quite a compelling way to spin ideas up really quickly. So have you been using V0? How have you found it? I would love to know. Just drop a note in the comments. And if there's anything you'd like to see me build next, also jump in the comments there and let me know. I'm trying to build out a backlog for the next couple of weeks, so I'd love some of your ideas.